Hey guys, my name is Adam, and I'm here for another Rum to the War multiplayer battle replay. This is a Germania versus the Greek city-states matchup, which is kind of interesting because in the previous video, I was playing a Phalanx faction and I was versing Germania. This time, I am playing as Germania and versing a Phalanx faction, so I'm on the other end of the pike, as it were. But, taking a look at my build, I have 5 sets of Chosen Archer warbands with Silver Bronze upgrades, which is not bad at all. These guys are very, very good, but also really expensive. And the reason I brought so many archers is because I really assumed my opponent would box. Oftentimes when you verse the Greeks or any sort of Phalanx faction, they will form a new box, but especially the Greek city-states because they don't have good cavalry, their archers are really good, and their infantry is really good. So you expect them to form a box. However, my opponent did not do that, so my build was thrown off a little bit by that, but taking a look at the rest of my army, I have, 5 sets of Knight Raiders with gold upgrades, which is a pretty strong front line, nothing too major, but you need to make sure to activate Warcry on these guys in order to give them more sustainability, keep them in the fight longer, a bunch of stuff like that. I also have a set of Berserkers with bronze attack, I believe, and I just gave them that upgrade because I felt they would do more damage that way. Also, I had a little bit of spare money. So, these guys are very powerful, but once they go berserk, as it were, they will be out of control, and you can no longer give them orders. So, that means that they're essentially free to do whatever they want. The problem with that, when you're versing a Phalanx faction, though, is that they could possibly just run straight into the front of a Phalanx and all die. That's why I'm not a big fan of bringing these guys when I'm versing a Phalanx faction. When you're versing a faction like Rome, or any faction that has really powerful cavalry, maybe the Seleucids, these guys are a good choice, because they are really powerful, and they can destroy people very quickly with these little picks, or maces, or whatever that is. It does have a little bit of a sharp end there, so I don't really know what to call it. I'm going to call it a pick for right now. And then I have 2 sets of Gothic cavalry with gold upgrades, and I figured this would be enough. Plenty of cavalry to handle Greek city-states cav. But I've actually been proven wrong in this game, and that's why I'm showing it. So, taking a look at my general here, I have a Barbarian Chosen Warlord with gold upgrades, I do believe. No, actually, yeah, that's gold. So, not too bad at all. This is a pretty standard Germania build, except I brought a few more archers than usual, just because I didn't want my opponent to box in, and if he did, then I was going to make it extremely difficult for him. I needed to weaken him up. It's especially important when you're playing a faction like Germania to do that, because otherwise, you need to charge straight into the front of a Phalanx. You don't have anything to counter his Phalanx. You don't have a Phalanx of your own. You don't have Pilla to throw. You are purely going to be going in a hand-to-hand confrontation. Taking a look at my opponent's build, though, and my opponent is Reach. Halo Reach. Just assume that. He has 4 sets of Militia Cavalry, which I have to say I was really surprised to see. I believe he has gold-bronze upgrades on these guys, or gold-silver perhaps. Yeah, it looks like gold-silver. But that is really good. Now, I did not expect him to bring Militia Cavalry, but they have proved their worth in this game. And that's why I'm showing you this replay. It's really impressive what he does with them. Anyways, he has a lot of archers, as you can tell. He went for a very much so a skirmish build because he brought a lot of Cretan archers, which are very expensive. Super expensive, as a matter of fact. He has 5 sets of these guys, and I believe he even put upgrades. Yes, he did. Silver, bronze, which is what I give a thumbs up to all day long. Then he has 5 sets of armored hoplites with gold-silver upgrades, which is pretty good. And then 1 set of Spartans with gold-silver upgrades as well. Not bad. So, he has a very strong infantry lineup. He has a really good bow lineup, though. Like, this is the strength of his army right here. This many bows, that's really good. Also, he has some sort of cavalry component, and keep in mind that militia cavalry do throw these javelins, so they can cause quite substantial damage before they even charge into melee. Yeah, these guys are dangerous. Not as dangerous as I thought, well, I mean, more dangerous than I had originally thought. I really took these guys for granted. I didn't think they would be able to stop my Gothic cavalry at all, but they did something quite special this game, must say. His general is in the General's Armored Bodyguard unit, which is actually pretty good. I don't know if I would recommend this, though. I might have put him in the Spartan unit. I feel like the Spartan unit would have been a slightly better choice, but if you wanted to put him in this, I guess that's fine. And it looks like he has gold-silver upgrades, perhaps. That's what it looks like to me. But not a bad build. This is a really strong build, and he definitely went with a heavy skirmishing component, and right now I'm exchanging arrows with him. I don't know if this is the wisest choice. I do have, I believe that, yeah, I have the same amount of bows as him, It all comes down to, can I kill them off faster than he can kill me off? And it's a tough question, really. Alright, so, over here, he charges his militia cavalry over my general direction. He's going to start throwing his javelins at me, which actually causes quite a bit of damage. He's killing about 4 of them right off the bat. The other unit, though, while I have his militia cav busy, I'm actually charging his archers. So I want to make sure that I win the skirmish fight because I spent so much money on my skirmishing component, hoping that he would box in. But as long as he doesn't box in, I can still harass with those bows, and that is exactly what I'm doing here. So I see that I'm going to get nowhere by chasing around his militia cavalry. That's not going to get me anywhere, so I'm just going to go away and see exactly what damage I can cause up over on his flank. Now, he's following me really well, and he's throwing so many javelins at me. He's really causing his damage. I'm down to 45 men in my cav unit, and he is trying to just whittle me down. And it's working so well. I mean, I'm down to 35. He's just throwing so many javelins. His cav is much quicker than me, and I just can't really do too much to stop this. It's kind of insane. But at this point, I decide that I'm just not going to take javelins in the back. I'm going to actually charge in. Now, he does have his general in here as well, so I'm hoping I could possibly kill off his general, but no. There goes my Gothic cavalry. So these guys actually cost a lot of money. Gothic cav is pretty good. And that just doesn't work out. I also charge another unit in over here, and they're fighting, and they're trying, but it's just too much militia cav. It's way too much. And just like that, my cav force is actually gone. I actually lost a cav fight to the Greek city-states. And at this point, I was really shocked. I did not expect that he would be able to do something like that. I have all of my archers now targeted on his cavalry. You need to make sure to do that instantly, because when your opponent has a cav advantage, you need to neutralize that as quickly as possible. Otherwise, he will take full advantage of his mobility. He'll go around your flank. He'll do hammer and anvils while you're trying to fight. And really, the only advantage that I have right now is my bows. So I need to make sure to use them properly. And here I'm making a tactical mistake, I think. I don't know if this is really a mistake. I'm charging these guys really far forward, but at the same time, I'm moving my Knight Raiders up as well. I would almost call this enticing his cav to come forward. He's not going to be able to reach me, but, you know, I am taking a lot of risks here. It's very possible that he could have. I'm charging my Knight Raiders up as quickly as possible, and I don't know. This was a risky move. This was definitely a risky move. If I wasn't quicker to react, then he could have got my archers there. Nonetheless, though, I am having my archers target down his cavalry because I need to neutralize that advantage he has. Then I'll be pretty much in the clear because I have a bow advantage. Our infantry lineup is pretty much identical. He does have a cav advantage right now, though, and a big one. I mean, look at how much cav he has. I believe they have pretty much used all of their javelins, though, so I'm pretty much clear in that regard. But even them charging in melee is terrifying because they can go around my flank. They can do those hammer and anvil strikes that will cause a mash rout. And that's just worrying to me. I don't like that. I don't want that to happen, so I'm avoiding that at all costs. He does have 2 of his Cretan archer units that actually came back from routing, but I should be able to quickly focus them down. Not a big deal at all. And they're just going to fall one by one at this point. I'm going to fast forward it just a little bit. Alright, so I am moving up these 2 units of Knight Raiders at this point. I don't remember if I'm going to engage yet. I think that I'm going to harass them down just a little bit more with my archers because I want to make full use of their capacity for arrows. I want to use all of their ammo before I really bother to charge in. But at this point, he decides, you know what, it's time to engage. I think now is a good time to engage. So let's put it in regular speed and find out exactly what happens. He's moving his blob of cavalry to my left flank, which is a little bit awkward. I'm charging one set of Knight Raiders out in this general direction, and I'm going to try to outflank him at this point. Also, I'm charging my general around because this unit is isolated. You need to take advantage of these isolated units, especially when you're versing a phalanx faction as Germania. But here we go. His phalanx is not turned the right way, and I am going to crash right into the back of them. I'm going to cause an instant rout on that armored hoplite unit, which was really good. Over here, he is now charging in with his armored hoplites. I do activate Warcry on all of these guys here in just a moment. Yep, there we go. There's Warcry. He's charging in with a militia cavalry unit, but I hit Warcry just before they hit, so it doesn't really do too much morale shock. Also, these Knight Raiders should be able to fight him off pretty well. I have my general running some interference here and there, but there goes one of my Knight Raiders. So right now, I say I'm winning on the left flank, but losing on the right flank. As you can tell, my right flank is pretty much broken. However, my general is back there charging down those routing units. Now, I need to be careful because this militia cavalry can easily kill my general if they get into a straight-up confrontation. Here we go. My berserkers are charging right in. This is going to cause a lot of damage, and I'm going to start mowing them down. Their phalanx was not up originally, but see, this is the problem with berserkers going against phalanx units. They can be cut down so fast, and they actually go out of berserk mode there out of nowhere. So that was a little bit disappointing to me, but stuff like that happens. It really does. Over here, my general is charging straight through enemy cavalry, and I'm going to do a rear charge, which isn't too bad, not too bad at all. I'm going to cause some damage, and now I'm going to run through them. I'm going to make sure their phalanx is not completed. I'm going to run right through them, and this does two things. This stops them from using phalanx formation. It also gets his militia cavalry stuck on my Knight Raiders, so they can't actually kill my general at that rate. Over here, I routed a unit of armored hoplites. He is closing in on my flank, though, and that's something that worries me. I don't want him to do this. This is very dangerous, but I do route more militia cavalry, more armored hoplites. I'm doing pretty well. I'm winning on the left flank, but not the right. As you can tell, there's a lot of units over here, and now I charge my general right into his general, and I'm trying to do some damage. I don't know if I can manage to kill him off, though, and I'm a little worried at this point because it seems like he is going to win that fight. So I'm going to run my armored general through my bowman, and I'm going to leave my bowman to fight the general. I think that is a pretty decent move, but at the end of the day, I am in deep trouble because if my general dies, I will lose. I will lose because there will be a mass rout. My guys are not good at fighting without a general. They will rout, they are a barbarian faction, and they're just not good at it. The problem right now is these Spartans are pretty much full health, you know, full capacity. These guys are dangerous, and they will tear my Knight Raiders to pieces. You also notice how he has this V formation, which is an ideal formation for him. And I'm trying to stop him from doing that, but it's really difficult to stop this once it gets going. But I'm, again, going to charge right through his armored hoplites. I'm trying to get everything stuck up on my Knight Raiders, trying to make sure that he can't actually charge right through. But unfortunately, I'm going to start facing morale penalties, and there goes my general. So at that point, it is GG. My opponent did beat me in this game, and this is actually my first 1v1 loss since going back to Rome. So I definitely wanted to show it. It was a great game, and my opponent was really nice. I actually really like my opponent. He was a great guy. But anyways, I ended up killing 772. My opponent Reach ended up killing 836. I ended up deploying a little less than him, but I brought all those upgrades, and I really feel that my cavalry was wasted. I shouldn't have underestimated his militia cavalry. If I had my cav for the future infantry engagement, then I could have done those hammer and anvil strikes that would have defeated him. I don't know. It's just food for thought. What could I have done differently there? I think that I shouldn't have thrown away my cavalry, although I think it was important that I killed off his bows. So after I killed off his bows, I should have retreated with at least one unit of cavalry because I didn't have to charge that militia cav. It wasn't necessary, and I shouldn't have bothered. At that point, though, I really thought that I could defeat them because they're militia cavalry. Their morale is horrible. But in a mob like he had them, it's really tough to stop. And I found that out today. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought down in the comment section below, and I will see you in future videos. Let's take a look at the battle statistics screen first, though. So it looks like my Gothic Cavalry got quite a few kills, and that's mainly just because I charged the archers with that unit. Meanwhile, my other Gothic Cavalry got 1 kill. Yeah, that was on the militia cav. They got 1 kill before dying, even with the charge, which is that's kind of weird. That's kind of shocking. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in future videos.